Good evening,
November
folks.
98 Charlie. Once you get to the north side of the cell that you're deviating to the north of, it is clear from that point. I'm showing no precipitation between you and the airport.
Yeah, it's that kind of a trip. There are cells out there. Now, they're not terror cells, although they can certainly cause terror if you find yourself inside of one. Hence, don't. But it's kind of fun to fly today. Good day for instrument flying, having those skills. I'll give you the... I think I can turn the camera around now. Nope, I can't. Oh well. There's the view. We get to fly into and through...
November 502 Charlie, Sierra, contact Atlanta Center
like
127.85. And just advise them when you go back on course.
So, this is when you get the sense of actually how fast you're traveling. We're doing about 200 knots right now, almost 230 miles an hour.
November 502 Charlie, Sierra, 127.85.
Bore right through this. You may notice it be a little bit bumpy as we go through, but that shouldn't be too bad. It's not a big enough cell to show up on radar, which means it doesn't have rain in it. But disappear into it, everything disappears around you.
Runway 3732 Indy Center, clear to
pop
deviate right,
out.
1 air open seat direct to Falmouth.
Go back
Descend to maintain
into another one.
17,000, Cincinnati altimeter, 2974.
There are people who would be terrified by this. I am not one of them.
That's correct.
That's some of the stuff that I do for fun. I'm on my way up to a little place called Wilmington, Ohio. Never been there before, probably will never go there again. But it seems as though they have a class that they can teach there that is required. It's one of a not all that long a list of schools that can teach the particular class that I want to take. It includes 6 hours of time in an airliner simulator. That's going to be fun. It's like just like
Traffic
this.
not available.
Kind of wondered what it's going to be like. Be a completely new experience. I believe it's supposed to be full motion simulator, so we shall see. I have never flown a simulator more complicated than one for a simulated Baron like what I'm flying today. So, and we're back out. Nice, beautiful sky out there. Got a little stuff showing up on the radar, but it's 35 miles away, so we'll go around it when we get closer.
November 2098 Charlie, Indy.
So,
yes, sir, I'm moving the radar on you now.
With Indianapolis Center.
Are you north of the weather now, proceeding direct to the
area
airport?
controllers that manage this area.
November 98 Charlie. Okay,
Looking
radar
out this
contact
side.
lost, and tell you what, we're going to be a fire.
Get to see
Change, or
puppy
frequency
clouds.
change approved if you want
Turn
to
this
contact the
down a
Huntington
bit.
approach control.
so you can hear me a little better. Little popcorn clouds down there, I would like to call them. Here's another
November 98 Charlie, frequency
we're gonna fly into.
119.75.
This will be not as rough a one.
Good day, sir.
I hope. We'll see. I actually kind of like the bumpiness. It's less boring that way. It's kind of like riding on a bumpy road. If you were an airline passenger, you might refer to it as an air pocket.
And I'm holding instructions here in a few minutes. Stand by.
No such thing as air pockets. There are up straps and there are down straps. And they feel funny when you go through them. So, all that is. Yeah, a little bit of chop here. This is not bad. So, when you start flying, you get your private pilot's license. If you're like most pilots, you can start with what they call a sport pilot license. There's some more pretty layers out there. But most people don't do sport pilot. It's more restrictive than private pilot. Private pilot is
3732.
the first step to a flying career. The usual next step is an instrument rating. You have to have 125 hours of flight time to get that. Now the numbers I'm quoting are from back when I actually had to know them, so those numbers may be wrong. But
all right, Envoy 3732, yes.
125 hours, 50 of which need to be cross-country time. That means going places, meaning using an airplane for what it's made for. Then after the
Envoy 3732,
after the instrument rating,
25 miles south of Falmouth, at
the next step is typically a commercial license. Commercial license lets you make some money with flying. It is not a license you can charter with or that you can and fly airliners with or anything like that.
1315 Indy Center,
But
maintain 17,000, the Cincinnati Altimeter
The
2974.
major limitation on the private pilot is you may not make any money with it, period. So, commercial, you can make some money doing things like photo flights, ferrying airplanes around, fire patrol. I did a lot of fire patrol when I had my commercial, when I first got my commercial. So, after that, you may add various and sundry ratings as you build time. The next step is somewhere between 12 and 1,500 hours you're eligible to get your Airline Transport Pilot Rating, ATP. And that is what it sounds like. It is a license required to fly airliners. Along with that, you need to have a type of rating if you're going to be flying jets.
119.7 today.
More beauty up front. So that's the step that I've never gotten. I've flown 3,300 hours in the past 25 years, but have not gotten around to getting my airline transport pilot license. So that is my next challenge for myself. So that's what I'm traveling to start the process of right now. After a particularly tragic accident back 5 or 6 years ago, I cannot recall exactly, I believe in Pennsylvania, where an ATR turboprop stuck in a holding pattern, built up ice, and crashed. After that, the FAA added more layers of requirements in order to get your ATP.
Number 21 Mike, some moderate heavy precipitation off your 11 o'clock down about 20 miles. It's all broken up, and that extends for another probably about 50 to 80 miles.
21 Mike, thank you for that. We're looking at it on radar. I'll deviate when we get a little closer. Thank you.
Roger.
So he was telling me about some weather up ahead. So I have to take now this, what they call a CTP class. I'm trying to remember what it's called. Certification Preparedness Training. No. CTP. Certification Training Program. Once I do that, then I'm qualified to take the written test, which they tell me is an awful test. I'm just starting to study for that. And after that is a flight test and an oral test, which they say is not as hard as the written test. We'll see. So that's what I'm working on right now. Always challenge yourself. Find the next level and look and find ways to reach it. That's going to be different for every person, whatever the next level is. But if you don't, if you're not growing, if you're not adding to your skill set, if you're not growing in things you know, things you can do, things you're able to do, you're dying. Either you're growing or you're dying. That's the way I look at life. So I'm working on growing. Anyway, he's giving me a heads up on some weather ahead, so I'm going to get off of this thing. I believe we're looking at some of that weather right up there. It's kind of pretty from this angle. I do not want to see what it looks like from the inside, because that's what we call dumb. I'm not dumb. I don't plan to act dumb.
And Georgia 7348, change the plan now. You turn direct
let's see what we need to do to be safe.
And then the Phillips 3
y'all take care.
Left turn direct
I'll post this after I get on the ground, so I hope you guys have a wonderful week. Make it amazing. Take care. We'll see you.